From the broken ruins of Babylon, this is End of Days Radio. I am your host, Daniel, broadcasting to you all the way from that shimmering Emerald City right here in the heart of the Pacific Northwest. Hello, today's date is January 23rd, 2019. The future is here. I say that every show. I gotta stop. Stop. And remember, endofdaysradio.com. Today's guest, Alberto Daniel Hill. So his middle name is my first name, which is pretty cool. I'll take that. Alberto Daniel Hill is a writer, hacker, and cryptocurrency expert who is involved in some serious cryptocurrency projects. He is here today to tell us his story and also discuss his imprisonment and the media manipulation surrounding the entire event. Main focus going to be media manipulation. Media manipulation. Manipulation, because that's what those fuckers do. They manipulate, they manipulate, they manipulate, manipulate, manipulate. That's all they do. It's mind control. Manipulation. Manipulation. So, remember, stay tuned after the interview because we do have a rather interesting after show. Sorry, just adjusting my mic. We have a very interesting after show, as you know. But let's go ahead and get to the meat and bones of the show. Let's get into the interview. I'll go ahead and call our guest. Should be just on time.
Hello.
Hello. Alberto. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. Can you hear me okay?
How are you, Daniel? Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Perfect. I am doing great. I am very excited to be here talking to you. I feel very blessed and very excited once again. How are you? Are you feeling spry this evening?
I am feeling great, and I mean, after all the things I have to live, I'm very happy, and I'm great. I'm doing great. Nothing can bother me in this life. Nothing expresses me. I mean, I see life through a different point of view right now, and everything is perfect. So I'm doing great. Thank you. And thank you for having me in your show. It's a pleasure for me. And I am very happy to be here sharing my story with you and trying to tell people things that for me are obvious right now, but many people are not aware of what's going on, and that's very sad for me. They should open their eyes and see that. I was listening to your show earlier, and at one point they were talking about the Matrix, the illusion of reality, and well, people think that the Matrix is like a fiction, that Mr. Robot is fiction, but no, it's not fiction. Actually, it's what's happening right now, and has happened all the time in humanity history.
So I take it you're a fan of Mr. Robot, just like me.
Exactly. I mean, I used to watch shows such as CSI Cyber, Scorpion, which were so stupid, but when I watched Mr. Robot, I thought, wow, this is the closest show that reflects the reality. But then, after what I had to live, I said, Mr. Robot is not that exciting. I mean, my life is exciting and crazy.
Yeah, big difference between seeing something on the screen and actually having your heart race, having it happen to you.
Exactly. There's a big difference between what you get from the media, from TV shows, from documentals, from what you hear on the radio, what you read on the newspapers. You have to be aware that what they tell you might be far away from the truth. So I tell you, right now, it's been like 6 months that I don't watch the news. I don't read the newspapers because I am wasting my time. I mean, they are not telling the reality. They are not telling what's going on. They are telling you what the people with power want to tell the people to make them think that they know what's going on, but that's not the truth.
Yes, that term, the term fake news, gets floated around quite a bit, and people think it's a joke, but in reality, it seems like, well, pretty much it's all fake news. It's not just this place or that place, it's all fake.
Yeah, I mean, and after living the things that I had to live that were never planned by me, um, I, I realized so many things, and my mind is. I think I see the world through different eyes, and I can understand many things that I was stupid before. I mean, I went to college. I have a degree. I've been studying all my life, but I didn't. I saw the world just from a very narrow point of view, but things are much more complex than that. And if you are able to look from above and try to see the things from a whole context, everything involved, then the reality is not what you used to see. I mean, things are much more complex, and you start questioning yourself a lot of things, and you end up, the conclusion that you arrive is that, wow, I was living in a lie. Everything was a lie, and everything is a lie for most of people.
Would you compare it to an awakening experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was sent to prison, for me, at that moment, for me, it was like the end of the world. That this is it. I mean, I will die here. I mean, my life is over. But shortly after that, I realized that I couldn't take that experience like that. I mean, I had to be strong, and I couldn't just let those things happen. I had to be strong and start fighting, and I couldn't let the system destroy me just because I was very smart according to the authorities, and that's why basically they sent me to prison. Because if you know things that they don't know, if you understand things they don't understand, what do? I mean, they hire you, or they try to shut you up, and they send you to prison. I mean, they don't like knowledge in people. I heard it before in your podcast. It's a strategy that the governments are using. If the people are unable to think, do not have the knowledge, education, then it's great because you can manipulate the whole population, and that is very sad. But my determination was not that to happen with me, and well, I am outside right now, and I am fighting for many things, and I'm trying to send a message to as many people as I can regarding what's going on, which is ridiculous. It's sad, and my philosophy of life has changed a lot, and basically my values are very aligned to those of Elliot in Mr. Robot in the first episode, when he goes to the coffee shop and he leaves saying, well, I don't give a bit about money. Life is much more important than that. But most of the people think that the purpose of life is getting as much money as they can, but they are not being happy. They will never reach happiness with that, thinking that way. You have to do what you love. You have to fight for what you believe in order to be happy. And right now, I can tell you, I am very happy despite all the problems I am experiencing.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And this entire story is so fascinating. What we wanted to do was kind of just let you go ahead and tell lay the entire event out for us. I'm not sure how far back you want to start from. If you could kind of give us an idea of your upbringing and what got you interested in computers and hacking in the first place, I think that would be pretty cool. But by all means, go ahead and begin your story.
Okay, perfect. Basically, before telling my story, well, I will tell you about myself. I will tell people about myself, and then I will tell you a little story that is true, that happened to me while I was working, and the learning from that is very interesting, and people should think about it. So basically, I am a computer engineer. I live in Uruguay, South America, and I was graduated in 2003. And I have been working in the info security field since then, so almost 20 years of experience in computer forensics, ethical hacking, consulting, and well, in 3 years ago, I quit my full-time job, which was very good pay as a professional in information security for the largest company in the country, but I wasn't happy. I was feeling so frustrated, and I thought to myself, I am not going to spend the rest of my life here just waiting to retire. No, I had to take a different path. So I quit the job, and most of the people that surround me thought that I was like crazy. Well, why did you quit that job? I was, as I said, paid very well. Many people would have killed for that job, but no, I wasn't happy. So I started investigating, researching about cryptocurrencies and basically blockchain technology, which for me at that point was something that I had no doubt were going to change the world. So I just quit my job and started focusing on cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and security. And basically, security and cryptocurrencies are two things that they match together in a perfect way. So I've been working on that since then, and I am still doing that. A few days ago, I got an email from a security organization very famous in the world, and they told me that a paper that I submitted last year was selected, and I will be talking in the Netherlands in April about many things. But actually, the title of my talk would be that there is no crime as great as daring to excel, which is a quote from I don't remember if it was from I don't remember the quote from what person was, but I love that quote, and that will be my talk about there's no crime as excellent as daring to excel. And well, during my career, I worked in many companies, for the government, private companies outside Uruguay, and my first job was as a computer forensics in the first case in Uruguay in 2004 regarding to child pornography. And well, I did the first computer forensics project there, and after that they kept calling me for those kind of cases. And years after that, in 2006, they called me for another case. And while I was working, I heard some people from for the Interpol that were laughing. And I heard a story that I have to share with everybody that for me wasn't funny, but it was regarding a case of a person that they arrested a few days earlier, and they were saying that the person confessed the crime. He was crying up to the point that he ended up peeing on himself. And after that, when they had to do the paperwork, they noticed that when they request the internet provider the information regarding the IP to trace that person, they noticed that they made a mistake in one number. So that person that was crying, that he admitted the crime, that peed on himself, had nothing to do with that.
Oh my God!
And they were laughing about that. No, this is true, and that was the point where I decided to not to work anymore for the government. For me, it wasn't funny, and I was not willing to be part of that system where things like that could happen. So basically, what I learned from that is that if you admit you are guilty of something, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are actually guilty. And that was a learning very strong for me. Wasn't funny at all. And that was a point of inflection in my mind regarding all the issues regarding to the way law enforcement work, justice, between inverted commas, because for me justice is just an illusion. And well, after that, I worked for many companies up to 2016, where I told you I quit. And a year after that, the Interpol, the law enforcement, visited me and they arrested me. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? And basically, they asked me if I knew something about a computer system. And I felt so relieved when they told me that, because it was a computer system that where I found several security issues in the past. And I report them to the authorities, because that is the way I always work and I always do. I mean, I became a hacker a long time ago. I mean, when I was 15, it was the first time that I modified a program, and well, that was, I think, the first thing that made me feel that I was like a hacker. But anyway, I have done many things in the hacking field in my life, but I never told anybody anything about the things I have done. I mean, I was never looking for fame, never looking for money. I am just a curious person that knows about computers and wants to help solve problems. And in this case, I mean, I found huge problems in a medical provider system, which could cause, I don't know, the information regarding thousands of people, the medical information regarding thousands of people was there. And I couldn't do anything else but report them. So I did that. But, well, and what happened was, I didn't know that in February of that year, that medical that provider received an email saying that their database was hacked, and unless they paid certain amount of bitcoins or cryptocurrencies or money to those people, they were going to make public all the medical information they had. And they asked me, okay, did you send this email? And I said, are you kidding? No. And they told me, well, here we have a paper from the internet provider saying that the email was sent from your house. And I was like, okay, well, if you have that paper, then it means that the email was sent from my house. But you don't have that paper saying that the email was sent from my house. And, well, that was it. But then they kept asking me questions and putting pressure on me. And the next day, the way this person's work is, they try to find the thing that you love the most, and with that, they can make you confess anything. So I was sure that they couldn't prove that I did that. So at one point, one of the people in Interpol told me, well, okay, if you don't admit that you sent this email, we will go to your girlfriend's house, we will go to your mother's house, and, well, that wasn't very nice for me. I mean, it was a situation like, oh, what the hell? They are not only making this to me, but they are going to do the same with the people I love the most in my life. So I basically said, okay, I did send it. I mean, and I was sure that I could prove that that was not possible. But that was enough for them. And in my house, when they came, they found things that most of the people that work in information security and are hackers have, but they were not prepared for that. So they found so many things, such as, I don't know, every kind of device you can imagine related to hacking, that they didn't know what they were, because they were like asking me, and what is this? And what is this? And what is that? Well, they were surprised, and well, then they took me to the judge. The prosecutor asked me so many stupid questions, so many irrelevant questions, that I was so frustrated, tired, and in a matter of 2 days, the judge said that, okay, sent to prison, you will go to prison. And I was like, oh my God, I tried to help, to solve a problem, and they're sending me to prison. I mean, that was so crazy, and I couldn't believe it. And not only that, they told me that they were not going to do anything with my girlfriend, my mother, and actually, they arrested my girlfriend. They treat her like the worst criminal in the world in a psychological way. She still has consequences of that. Well, we broke up after that event, and she's a person that, I don't know, the best person in the world, and they put her under such psychological pressure that they destroy her. They basically made her break. They told her things such as, I confess everything, and I said that she was the one that had planned everything. I mean, so many lies in order to make her break. That is the only thing that makes me really upset about all this, because I don't care about what they did to me. I can cope with that, but I cannot accept the things that they did to the people I love. And well, after that, I spent 8 months in prison for, I was accused of attempt of extortion and to access in a fraudulent way to secret information. That is crazy. I mean, they basically sent me to prison because they wanted to show the people, the people in Uruguay that, wow, the police here has the ability to capture a very dangerous terrorist, and well, he's in prison right now. They released information that was not true, that was modified in a perfect, flawless way in order to make me look such as the worst person in the world. And well, people believe that because all the media cover my case, and based on that information, actually, if I was reading that information and that was the true story, I would probably think the same. This person is a criminal, but that was not all. That was not the story. I mean, what they released, what they said, was far from what really happened, and it was just created in order to get a trophy. I mean, I was a trophy for the authorities. I was a trophy for the judge, and well, I had to pay the price of my knowledge and for trying to do things correctly. I mean, I believe in the law of consistency, and people are consistent in the way they are. I've never made a cent hacking. I have never told anybody about the sites I have had. Whenever I found a security problem, I report it, and that's it. I mean, so that was not consistent with me, what they were accusing me. And that was really, really silly. And well, I spent 8 months in prison. But for me, as I said, at one point, I clicked on my mind and said, okay, I will be stronger than ever. This won't kill me. Actually, this will give me strength to fight against all this. And that is what I am doing right now. I am trying to tell the world my story, and so far I am doing it, and I am very, very happy to see that when people that actually know about security have the competence to see the elements of my case, laugh about the police. And in a conference in Germany at the end of last year, they talk about my case, and well, the message that they said was, never underestimate the stupidity of law enforcement. And it was the talk was made at people are, I mean, they are very, very well known in the field of security. To give you an example, they detected problems in the voting system of Germany years ago. They hacked the voting system of Germany, and they make the government change the system before the election. So they are not stupid. They know about security, and in my case, they just couldn't believe what happened to me. And well, and it was another thing that I didn't know was in October of last year, I was able to access to the file regarding my case for the first time, and then in that point I saw the email that was sent regarding the extortion, and they were requesting 15 bitcoins, and the mail said you should send the bitcoins to the following address, and the address was empty. There was no address to deposit the bitcoins. So if it was a crime, it was a crime of sending the most stupid email in the world. And I am not. I am a professional that, I mean, I have years of experience in this field. I know about cryptocurrencies, and it's stupid to think that I would have done something like that. In the conference, all the audience couldn't help but laughing about my case. And, well, I am telling the world my story, and the first big thing that I accomplished was that a person that has a podcast, which is called DARKNETDIARIES.com, was very interested in my story, so he made an episode regarding my case, which was listened by 50,000 people. And after that, it was a snowball effect, and actually everybody in the world, I think, that is in the field of computer security knows about my case, and they shout, "Oh, Alberto from Uruguay," the pure guy that was victim of the stupidity of the police. But unfortunately, here in my country, nothing happens. Nobody questions anything, and my case is in its initial stage. I mean, I haven't been sentenced. I have no sentence. I have nothing. I am just waiting for the justice to continue with the process. But they have realized they are treating with something they are not able to cope with. I mean, they do not have the competence to treat this case. It's like having a file in Chinese for them. So it's a nightmare for them. And, well, I am trying to do as much as possible to close this case, but it's not easy because the justice here has such powers. It's so powerful that they can do whatever they want, and that is very frustrating. And that is why my strategy is not to fight here only, but to show the world my story and let the expert tell what they think about it. So eventually, that way, they might see that they are being laughed at, all over the world regarding this case, and maybe that can make a change. So I will use all the tools I have, all the knowledge I have, in order to change the thing and stop being a trophy, and maybe I can change the system. I am willing to change the system because what happened to me could happen to anybody, but not anybody has the knowledge or maybe the resources to fight against this. And as Victoria told you, this person that admitted committing a crime and was crying and peeing on himself, I don't know how many people like that have served time in prison here. But what I know is that I do not want anybody else here to be in a situation like mine. That is what I know.
Wow. Well, that was a very, very interesting story indeed, and a little bit horrifying, actually. I mean, considering that to be somebody that was doing what you were doing, it was actually part of your job as a security expert to test vulnerabilities in computer systems, and the fact that the municipal system there could not recognize that something like that might have been going on is really scary. They just, as you said in the beginning, it's like they did not even have the most basic understanding of what was going on.
Absolutely. And I cannot understand, for example, regarding this medical institute, I made 2 reports. One in 2014 because I was able to access to everything, just logging in with the username admin and the password admin. Oh my God. Okay. A year later, I found out that I could access to all the information they had, just modifying things in a URL. I mean, I was with the browser, and I just modified some things, and the lack of controls that they had made me being able to access to all the information they had. So I report that again, and that was just a case, but I have reported a lot of problems, a lot of very important problems here in Uruguay and outside Uruguay. And as I said, nobody knows all the things that I have done, I have reported, I have discovered, and nobody will ever know because I don't want fame. I don't want to be famous. I don't want people to say, "Oh my God, this guy got into site." So yeah, I want to create consciousness regarding this, and things such as health records are so sensitive that for me, it's impossible to think that when creating a system, they do not consider security as something that is a must for a system like that. So yeah, and that's the reality here in Uruguay. When I read news about the USA, for example, I see that certain medical institution got a security breach, and I don't know, 3,000 or 300,000 records were compromised. Well, the government put a fine on that institution. They have to pay, I don't know how much money for each record that is compromised. But here, they have known the problem since 2014, 15, and they got me arrested in 2017 for a stupid problem that they should have solved. I mean, I didn't send the extortion email, I didn't hack the database and stole the information, but it was so naive the way the system was designed that anybody could have done it in a frame of 2-3 years. It's ridiculous. If I was in charge of security of the government or this medical institution, I would have shut down the system, correct the problems, and then, okay, turn it on again. But they were so exposed that the responsibility of the government that they knew about this, of the medical institution that didn't solve it, it's huge. But I had to pay for everything. I had to go to prison for all the things they didn't care, they didn't do anything about, just for trying to help. So if I think right now, okay, that day in 2014, why the hell did I send that email? Why the hell did I send an email a year after? I mean, why did I worry they care about them when they didn't even care about the information they had? The government didn't care, didn't do anything. So I think I was stupid from all point, but that's the way I am. When I found problems, I try to solve them to avoid that people, innocent people, the information about people could be released, compromised, and I am not looking for money, for recognition, for anything. I just want to help things that, I mean, if I was part of that database that was stolen, I would have liked that if somebody have found problems before, would have report them. I mean, I put myself in the feet of other people, and I just act like that. But after all this, unfortunately, I found many other problems, but there is no way that to report them anymore. I mean, that's very sad, and that's one of the learnings that people said about my story after hearing it in the podcast. And another thing was that many people, the guy that makes this podcast, DARKNETDIARIES.com, told me that one of the feedback he got the most was that some people got really scared that they could have the same problem because they have the same equipment as you. And actually, I was sent to prison not because of evidence. I was sent to prison because all of the things they found in my house, which are completely normal and are part of the life of anybody that works in information security. I mean, you have to use the tools, understand the tools the enemies use in order to try to avoid them to commit crimes. So it's a fine line, and I don't know, it's something from an ethical point of view that makes you think a lot. And unfortunately for me, reporting security problems that I find is not something that I will do again.
Yeah, and it's a fact that if you are somebody that works in computer security, IT security, if you were to say buy a book on how to do your job, it would actually usually come with a disk or instruct you to download certain things so that you can test servers and test systems so you know if they're vulnerable or not.
Exactly, that's correct. I mean, one of the reflections at the end of the podcast was that the person that makes the show is also an information security professional, and he asked himself, I mean, his favorite TV show is Mr. Robot, and he says, okay, why do people like me embrace in the hacker culture, such as having T-shirts of hackers, books of hackers? And he says, actually, that might be the same reason why the law enforcement likes watching violent movies with bad guys, or why the firefighters that live down the road has stickers of flames on their trucks. I mean, we all in this profession, we love it. We are excited to be close to the action and to know everything the enemy knows, and I think that to defend our networks, we have to take a position where we have to be in the place of a hacker, of an attacker, in order to protect ourselves. So there's a gray line between an illegal hacker and a security professional, and in some ways, it's like having an evil twin, and we have the same skills, the same curiosity, and it's a relationship that is complicated. And in my case, the judge was unable to understand that. But a person should be convicted for a crime if the person convicted a crime, not for what he wears, not for what he has in his house, not for that. They have to have the evidence to show that you actually commit a crime. And one thing that for me is very, I mean, it's my philosophy of life. I don't know if you heard about the Hacker Manifesto, but it reflects actually for me what I had to live. And actually it says something like, okay, I'm a hacker. I am guilty. My crime is that of curiosity. My crime is that knowing more than you, and that is something that you will never forgive me for. And you might stop me, but you won't stop all of us. After all, we are all alike. And that's the philosophy behind activism, which is something that I don't know if many people know, but is a philosophy behind hackers, because we have this problem that they visualize us as criminals. And actually, those who say that we are criminals are those who create nuclear bombs, those who are destroying the society, those who are robbing our money from the evil bank system. But we are the criminals because we seek knowledge. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and an interesting thing that you mentioned earlier was investigating pedophile networks and stuff like that. Well, if you have bad people that are into pedophilia and they're learning about computers and finding ways that they can trade this very evil type of stuff that they're dealing with, well, we absolutely have to have good hackers, good computer experts that can understand what they're doing and go in there and actually find these people.
That's absolutely correct, because right now I made a talk 2 years ago in Sao Paulo regarding this, because crime is moving from crime to cybercrime, because the tools that are now being used to commit crimes are things that involve information technology or technology in one way or another. Before, they used to rob banks. Right now, they buy a program on the darknet, and they use that program to steal money from an ATM without having a gun. So the criminals are using a new business model, which is that they are using information technology and all the tools they have to commit their crimes. Because before, we used to use cash money to pay for things. Right now, everybody uses credit cards and electronic ways to pay for things. So what do the criminals do? Instead of robbing money, they rob banks on the internet. And that's the way it's going to be. And in one point, all the crimes will be cybercrimes. So we have the law enforcement, the justice have to understand that and to be prepared for that, because that's something that is impossible to stop. Crimes will be all cyber crimes in the future. That's a fact.
And right now, identity theft is a huge problem. It's going on everywhere. Major companies are getting hacked. People's credit card information is getting out. You see it in the news every once in a while. Oh, Sony was hacked. Apple was hacked. It's very bad stuff. And if somebody gets a hold of your credit card, they could do some serious damage.
Absolutely. And the companies, the credit card companies are actually assuming those costs, and the cost of those frauds, which are billions and billions of dollars every year, and they have calculated that. What do? They know they are going to lose that money, but they charge that on each transaction with a credit card. Whenever you pay with a credit card, you charge the person for that. I mean, it's part of the cost of using the credit card. Why? Because the credit cards were initially, they didn't create the credit cards for an internet world. They created credit card in 1950s. I don't know if it was diners or what, to pay for a lunch. But in that time, during that time, they didn't have a world where everything was connected with everything, and credit cards, by design, have a lot of, I'm not designed with the security in order to avoid all the things that are happening. The what's called carding or fraud with credit card make companies lose a lot of money, and well, yeah, they have to first hire people, information security professionals, to improve their systems, to be constantly monitoring everything, to know what's going on in the market, in the black market of these things, in order to be prepared and to fight against them. And eventually they will have to change the way credit cards work, because they are not designed for a world like this. I mean, years ago, when they created the credit cards with that had this chip to improve the security, then a near field contact, so you can pay just by placing the credit card next to the point of sale, but then they realized that by doing that, they will enable the bad guys to store the information, just putting a device next to the wallet of a person, and that was terrible. I mean, I think that was a huge problem in the USA, not here, but the things they did to mitigate the problems were worse than the problem itself. So eventually they will have to change the way credit cards are designed, but the cost of making a change of that kind is so big that right now they just assume the cost, and the cost is transferred to the customers and to the people that accept credit cards to work. So it's nothing minor. It's very interesting, and the thing is that cybercrime right now moves and makes more money than drugs, trafficking of guns, prostitution. It's, I think, the business that makes more money right now. And in places such as Russia, you have organizations that are huge. I mean, they have hundreds of people working in order to commit crimes, because the profits are huge. So imagine, you have to fight against hundreds and hundreds of people trying to enter into your network and steal money from a bank. I mean, wow, it's not an easy task.
Alberto, did you go to school for any of this knowledge, or are you exclusively self-taught?
Well, I got a degree. I am a computer engineer, but after I got graduated, I always kept learning all the time regarding information security. I have international certifications from many organizations regarding this. I'm an ethical hacker certified. I have a certification in cybersecurity both from international organizations recognized, and I also have a PMP certification, which is a project management professional, which is also allow me to be in charge of many information security projects, to implement security projects in many companies. So I have formal knowledge, but everything, the most important things that I learned were not in college or in these courses. I mean, the things that I learned were because of my curiosity, because of spending hours, days, weeks, trying things, learning things, experimenting things, because if you want to be good at this, there is one thing that you cannot learn. You have to have passion for this. And that is a passion and an endless curiosity, and those things, you cannot learn them. I mean, you have to love this. So for me, it has never been like doing a job. It's a passion. I mean, I love what I do, and that is a key element in order to be good in this field. You have to have the passion to do it, and well, you just have to love this, and that is the only way to be good at this, because otherwise you can learn all the things theoretically, but when it comes to the real world, you just try to enter into a system, and after a few attempts you get frustrated, and then you go to your house and it's over. But no, if you are good at this, you keep trying until you get what you want, because it's like a drug. I mean, it's something you cannot control. You get, I don't know, if people that watch Mr. Robot would understand that you just love it. It's something that you cannot learn.
When you were in jail, did you have any problems? Did anybody mess with you, try to pick a fight with you, anything like that?
Well, that was something that for me, it was, I didn't know what to expect, and I was very afraid of what could happen to me. But when I arrived, I was in a cell for 5 days without any kind of communication, so I didn't know what was going on outside. But when they took me to prison, I arrived, and they asked me, okay, what did you do? Why are you here? And I said, no, it was a computer-related crime. I hacked a system. Oh, my God, you're the hacker. Everybody knew about my case, and they asked me, can you hack my girlfriend's Facebook, please, please? Oh, my God. So I was like, how these guys know about me? Well, after that, I found out the media impact of this, and well, from that point, I was afraid, yeah, but they saw me with a lot of respect because I was like somebody who has certain knowledge that they did not. But I don't know, I didn't have any problem because it was a very low security prison, and the other inmates treat me with a lot of respect, and the authorities also. Well, and the first thing they said when I arrived was, this person cannot get close to any equipment. But after a few months, they saw the way I am, and I was teaching the basics of computers to 40 inmates in a room with 7 computers. So I got the trust of the authorities, and I was able to do that, which was satisfying for me. So everybody treated me with respect, the authorities, the other inmates, everybody. So I can say that I didn't have any problems in jail. I had other issues that maybe are part of another story where somebody went to visit me, and it was so strange for me, but at the end, that person wanted me to hack a bank. And that is something that is very common. People that are in other countries, when they are convicted for computer-related crimes, are contacted by people who want them to work for them in order to commit crimes. So that wasn't very nice, but okay, I could deal with it.
Yeah, that's interesting because it's my understanding that the Italian mafia, for example, they used to specialize in beating people over the head and doing things like that. But in this day and age, a lot of what they do is actually the same thing. It's computer-related crime, identity theft, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not the profile of a person who is in jail in the world and in this country. So people in jail are, unfortunately, people who just were born in the wrong place, in the wrong context, that with very low incomes, with many problems, and they grew up in a context that led them to end up in prison just because they were pure, they had no money, and jails for me are created for them. And if I was born in the place where most of them were born, I would probably end up like them, and that is very sad. But as I said, fortunately, I was very, very respected by all the inmates, and I never had a problem there. I have to say that, which made things easier because I am no violent at all. I have never had a fight in my life, and I had the idea that if you were in a prison, you solve problems fighting, not talking, and that was not the case. And I mean, I had to be witness of many not very nice things, but nothing ever happened to me.
I feel so bad for your girlfriend and what happened to the relationship in general. Is there anything at all that she can do about what happened to her? Could she maybe sue them?
Well, she can perfectly sue them, but it's very sad. It's very sad what happened to her because she's a person. I mean, her heart is. I don't know. I'm so sorry for her. Yeah, she can perfectly sue them, but she doesn't want to know anything about this thing anymore. But if she wants, she can perfectly sue her. And actually, I am going to sue them because of many things they did that were not correct, such as, for example, in the media, they said the director of Interpol in Uruguay said that I was cloning credit cards. I mean, it was not, he was not saying, we suppose, we think, he was probably, no, he said, I was cloning credit cards. And you know how many credit cards cloned they found? Zero, none, nada, nothing. I mean, everything I had was for research purposes to learn. It's ridiculous. I mean, I think about it, and they thought that I was cloning credit cards and go to ATMs to take money. And he also said that I used to access to other people's bank accounts and get money from that, which upset me a lot. And as I said to him, okay, show me that I have stolen a cent from somebody else's account, and I will personally go to the justice and do what you have to do. But show me that I did that, because you cannot make an affirmation like that. You can destroy a person's life. But in the case of people that are hackers or information security professionals that end up in jail, the situation after jail is absolutely different than any other kind of people who serve time in prison. The most important and recognized people in information security, hacking in the world have all served time in prison, which gives you, I don't know, an added value. So after being released, I got job offers from many companies. That was, and after talking to people and telling them what really happened, I thought people will start running away from me because I am a criminal. I mean, I was in prison. But no, when I start telling people about my story, they actually get admired, and they want to know more, and they don't run away from me, and they can't believe what happened to me. And in the world, doors open. As I told you, my case was treated in Congress in Germany. It's known all over the world, and nobody treats me like a criminal. Actually, I am famous without wanting it, because as I told you, I never was looking for fame or anything like that. But at this point, everybody knows all me, and I am very happy to see that people that can analyze all the elements can reach the conclusion that what happened to me was stupid. So I am glad that people can actually analyze situations and not get with one version from the press saying a cyber terrorist got arrested by the police, blah, blah, blah. He had an anonymous card which makes him guilty. No, some people can think in the world, and that is great. I mean, and I'm trying to send that message to as many people as I can, because you don't know when you read in the news about certain case and a person, maybe what they are telling you is far away from the truth. I don't know. And as I told you, in my case, after prison, I was surprised by the way society accepted me and treated me.
Yeah, I had another gentleman. It jogged my memory because you were talking about how a lot of the major security experts has spent time in jail or prison at some point. Well, I had Greg Hausch on the program. He's somebody that was actually involved in the Mr. Robot show as a consultant, and I can't help but see a lot of similarities between your story and his story, and kind of what happened to him, and getting thrown in prison and not really being the type of person that has to go there, and what happened to you. So I think there's definitely some truth there. A lot of these experts, they end up behind bars before they are able to kind of come out and tell their stories.
Yeah, and not only that, it's crazy, but living a story like this of being a security professional that served time in prison is actually something that might get your career poof, to the moon. I mean, you are just a person that, an average person that nobody knows in the world, but after situations like this, people start knowing about you, and they admire you, and they see you with another eye, and you should use that. Even you are not guilty of anything, and you know it. You can either be destroyed by the situation and commit suicide, or you can end up being stronger than it and use that as an opportunity to jump your career to anywhere you want. It opens you the door to any place you want to go if you take it like that. I mean, it's all about how you adapt yourself to the situation that is complicated, that mentally can destroy you. But if you are strong enough to survive that, then the world is in your hands. I mean, it's crazy, but yeah, it's like that. I mean, there's a guy called Kevin Mitnick that is probably one of the most famous hackers in the world, who is now one of the best paid information security consultants in the world. And the other day I saw a picture in Instagram that was very funny, that it was like 2 ways of becoming a very well-paid security consultant. And on the left side, it was the path of 20 years working as blah, 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 working blah, blah. And on the other path, it was being convicted of computer-related crime, good behavior for 17 months, and then in 2 years, you become a very well-paid information security professional. It was very funny.
What is really scary about it is the fact that it wasn't just, from what you told me, it wasn't just the government of your country, but Interpol as well, which is an international organization. To think that they were making mistakes like this is very disturbing.
Yeah, but as I said, in the early 2000s, I worked for the Interpol actually, and the problem is not the Interpol. The problem is the law enforcement here, which are local police that have they have no education regarding to this kind of I mean, I think they can perfectly cope with crimes related to drugs, to any kind of other crimes, but when it comes to technology, they are not prepared. But it's a problem of this country only. For example, if you see cases in Argentina, which is a country that is our neighbor, you see that when it comes to investigating computer-related crimes, it's something absolutely different. They have, first of all, they have laws regarding this kind of crimes. Such in the USA, you have the law that was I don't remember the name, but to fight cyber terrorists and internet. I don't know the name of the law, but in the USA, you have a law that that contemplates this kind of crimes, and for people that are found guilty of those crimes, they have to pay. I mean, the time they have to spend in prison is not low. And in Argentina, well, they have crimes contemplating computer-related. They have law contemplating computer-related crimes, and the law enforcement is prepared to cope with that. And you see the procedures, and wow, we are in Uruguay. We are thousands of years away from them, and that is one of the things that I want to accomplish. I want to accomplish a root change. First of all, if I want to change this kind of things, and I don't want them to happen again, the way to do it is not to give training to the law enforcement. You have to create laws against computer-related crimes. That's the first thing, because I was charged for extortion and knowing secret information. But extortion as in a traditional way. I mean, such a traditional extortion. There are no crimes related to computers. So if you want to access to a system and you try for hours usernames and passwords, that's fine. That is not a crime. But if you go to Argentina and you try to enter to a system and you are not supposed to enter the system and you start trying username and passwords, that's a crime. So you have to change first the legislation and create laws that are against this kind of crimes. That's the first thing.
For what happened to have happened, there must be some kind of major corruption there, because why the heck was the media so in on this?
Well, I will tell you two things, a few things. I know that I am doing things correctly, telling the world my case, because I had a petition on change.org to get people to sign to change the way digital evidence and investigations regarding to cases in computer crimes were treated in my country. And I am working a lot in several things to tell the world about this. And a week ago, somebody who's writing an article for Medium.com regarding my case told me, "Hey Alberto, the article is almost done, but I clicked on the change.org link that you sent me, and it said that the petition is not available." Well, the petition at change.org got deleted, my username got deleted, and I contacted change.org, and they never reply. So things like that show me that there's some kind of power. I am annoying some people that have a lot of power, and I am getting signals that I am doing things right, because some things not nice are happening to me, but that won't stop me from keep doing that. And regarding the particular case that I had to leave, the institution that got hacked, at the same time that it was hacked, there was a case, of corruption, where, I don't know, I think 6 or 7 people were sent to prison, except those in the top positions, directors and all that. No, people at the bottom of the institution were sent to jail due to fraud, and maybe just maybe somebody thought that, okay, this guy got into our systems, and maybe this guy got some information that we don't want him to be aware of, and maybe this guy can cause us some problems. I don't know. I'm just thinking, but maybe you're right, Daniel. Maybe you're right. I mean, I didn't do it. Somebody else did it. I don't know who, but somebody did, and they did it for some reason. Yeah.
It's also puzzling that whoever really committed the crime must have gotten away with it, right?
Yes, and another thing that is not minor is that, okay, for the justice right now, I am a nightmare because I used to be a trophy, but with my lawyer, we are making so many requests and putting so much pressure on them that they don't want to know from my lawyer or me anymore. And one of the things that is something basic and for somebody in a criminal case is something that is a right, is to be able to have, in my case, I requested a third part research of the servers involved in the hack in order to see if what it is in the file, what they say that it happened, that the database was stolen and all that really happened. To to see if the IP addresses they researched were correct. I mean, it's like when a person in sports gets positive for drugs in a test, the person, you have two samples of what they tested. I mean, the person has the right to say, no, that result is wrong. I mean, I want somebody else, a third party, to analyze that, to have the opinion. I mean, and the judge denied me to that request, the request to a third independent party analyze the servers involved in the hack. So, and we keep on asking that, and we are going to appeal because we are going to get that. That is something that cannot be denied. Everybody has the right in certain research or anything related to a criminal cause to request another opinion apart from that the police gave. They gave. I mean, that's something basic. If you want to assure that you are under a fair process, you have to allow that. It's something common sense only.
Is there any possibility that somebody was trying to frame you?
Yes. I mean, you know, it's been like 18 months since I got arrested. So you can imagine all the time that I had to think about all the possibilities. And I have thought a lot. And I have some theories, but as I don't have proof, I rather not being specific. But the thing is that people, lawyers and other people that are in the field told me that certain possibilities. And one of the things was that I was reporting security things. I mean, I was doing the job of an ethical hacker for free. So maybe somebody in the industry said, okay, that guy is making for free what we charge a lot of money for. Maybe I was bothering somebody because I was doing that. I don't know. I really don't know if that was the case. Another possibility was that I was really involved and had a lot of knowledge and lot of projects related to cryptocurrencies, which were going to eventually cause a lot of damage to people in the financial system in my country. That's another possibility. I mean, the thing that if I was framed, it was because I was bothering somebody that had a lot of power. So yes, I mean, I wouldn't think this was just for fun. And after the stupidity that nobody realized that
because how could they both set you up in this way? I mean, yeah, sure, there was probably a lot of stupidity involved, but how could they both set you up in this way and then have control of the media at the same time? That's just too much of a freak occurrence.
Yes. As I told you about the Hacker Manifesto, the thing is that my only crime is that of curiosity. My crime is that of outsmarting you, something you will never forgive me for. Yeah. So, the thing is that here we are having a change in finances, with something that's called financial inclusion, which is forcing everybody to use the financial system for everything. And at that time, I was working with cryptocurrencies, which are another way of paying for things, and another kind of money which is not centralized and cannot be controlled by any government. So
Ah.
the banks have a lot of power. I mean, and with this law of financial inclusion, where all the people are forced to use the financial system for anything, they are getting huge of profit. And if they have a threat that there's something that can make them lose the market, they have a lot of power, and the government is the one who approved that law. So, makes you think.
Yeah, because the whole monetary system is actually controlled by a select few wealthy individuals. So again, we're going into that Mr. Robot territory a little bit of possibly pissing off the people at the very top of all of it.
Well, you wouldn't believe how many times. I mean, before what happened to me, I watched Mr. Robot like I don't know how many times. But after that, I watched it much more times, and in each episode, I was thinking, "Wow, this is exactly what happened to me." And in the first episode, where the 1%, the 0.001% of the 0.001% of the 0.001% of the 0.001% of the people in the world control everything, you are correct. The banks, the financial system, which is something evil that not many people is aware of what's going on, and all the. I mean, in the USA, what happened in 2008 was the proof that it was all a lie. And well, I know I've been researching a lot regarding this kind of things, and since the dollar was not supported by gold equivalent to each dollar, everything is a lie, and money is just a number in a computer system in the USA and in the world. So it's a bubble that is going to eventually explode. It's a lie. It's something that it's going to happen. I mean, a financial, a huge financial problem is going to happen, because they are just printing money all the time. The Federal Reserve is a private company, which is crazy. It's all a lie. The financial system is all a lie, and it's going to explode eventually. And not only in the USA, everywhere in the world. Yeah, and those are people with a lot of power. And and in 2008, when this problem happened in the USA with the mortgages and all that, it was the time where the paper where Bitcoins was explained appeared, which is a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in that. And after that, the model that was proposed by the Bitcoins started to be implemented, and it's a threat to the traditional financial system. Yeah, it's changing, and it's going to change the world, and nobody will stop it. I mean, the financial institutions in the world have realized that, and what they are doing. Western Union and other companies that are focused on transfer funds all over the world, well, they used to charge ridiculous amounts of commissions for sending money from the USA to Mexico or any place in the world. But with Bitcoin, you transfer money paying cents or nothing or nada, zero. So they have to change the model, and right now they are using the blockchain technology, or that is the core of Bitcoin, in order to make their processes like the way Bitcoins work, because they cannot fight against the technology or the concept behind Bitcoin. They have to do the same in order to survive.
Yeah, basically, unless it's something that they own and release themselves, it's a huge threat to their whole shebang. It means that their money doesn't hold the same value anymore.
That's absolutely correct. I mean, in the USA, the dollar is supposed to lose 2% of its value every year, which is far from the truth. It loses much more value. And Bitcoin they're a currency that do not have do not lose money, do not lose value. Why? Because the amount of coins that are going to be available are known, and you cannot create more coins than that. So the price is just based on the demand and the offer that you have, and it's and not only that, it's that people set the price because the transactions are between people, not with something in the middle, which has always been banks or any other institution that were in some way or another controlling and knowing everything that was going on. And this model is changing everything. And here in Europe, for example, what is would be the same as the IRS in the USA, that the office that controls the taxes and all that, like, it's incredible the way they are investigating, researching all the things people do, because, of course, right now that you are forced to use the financial system for everything, they know everything you do with your money, and if they see you spend a suspicious amount of money in certain things that you cannot justify with the money, your income, they go and you might have many problems. And when you play with a credit card, you are leaving traces of everything you do, and despite the fact that you maybe cannot justify anything, I don't want the government to know what do I spend my money in. I mean, that's something that is for me, and if I buy certain things, I don't want the government to know. If I go to a hotel with a lover, I don't want the government to know that I went to a hotel a certain day at a certain time. No, that's private. That's my life. I don't want the government to know everything about me because they are knowing everything about my what I spend money in. That's something that is against my values, against my philosophy.
Did you have a Wikipedia page that got deleted?
Sorry, did I have a Wikipedia page?
Yeah, because I like to look up all my guests, and I was looking, and it looked like that you had one, but somehow it got deleted. I just wonder if that's something. Yeah, I was like, yes. Wow, they must not like him.
You're correct. You're correct. Yeah, you are absolutely correct. Yeah. So not only the change.org petition was deleted, other things do not appear on the internet anymore. But if you put my name on Google, you will find a lot of information about me, and
oh yeah, I can tell they're doing something. I can tell they're doing something because I've been kind of following that sort of thing. Like Google's been blocking out like a lot of stuff. They don't want people talking about, and you kind of notice the patterns of when somebody's having their stuff removed. Definitely notice that going on with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I told you. Certain things that happened to me were signals that I was in the correct path. I mean, that I was not wrong what I was doing with trying to let them know people about my story, because somebody obviously got upset, somebody obviously with power do not want things to be known, and you said it. I mean, I told you about change.org, but not about Wikipedia, so what you told me surprises me, and you're right.
Yeah, and it's no laughing matter because, it is a little bit scary. Do you ever have that fear or anxiety that they might actually retaliate for you speaking out like this?
And at this point, I mean, 2 years ago when it all started, what did they do? They use psychology, and they treat me with certain things in order for me to confess something I didn't know. Right now, this might sound not nice, but at this point, I am so convinced, and so I have the determination to not to win this case, but to make a change in the system that, they can do anything. I mean, I am aware that what I am doing might have not very nice consequences on me, that I might experience things due to what I'm doing. I am completely aware of that, but I have decided not to let that stop me from doing that, because if I let this kind of things make me throw the towel and say, okay, no more, they win. No, I haven't come this far in order to quit. I will go until the end for this, and I am this is not funny, but I am you can imagine that I have thought about that a lot, the consequences that I might have because of what I'm doing. Not only the consequences I might experience, but the people I love might experience. And I have decided to go with this until the end, and I know that the end might be not in a very nice way with people with power. You know that, it's what you mentioned is something serious, but it's something that it's great that you asked, because it's something completely possible, and I am aware of that. But I have the determination to go with this until the end. I'm not going to let them win. If they want to stop me, they will have to stop me. I'm not using the law. Or, no, they are going to stop me somehow. I am aware of that. Yeah, but I am willing. I have assumed that I will pay the price of that if that happens. Yeah.
Another thing about this whole situation and hacking and hackers in general, well, the way the world is headed, there seems to be more and more control, and the way that they're getting this control and the way that they're spying on people and keeping track of everybody is using technology. Well, when you think about it, the hackers are really our only chance of having any sort of freedom in the future, because once the grid is fully assembled, they're going to be the only ones that can offer us any sort of freedom, because the technology and the control is just going to be so great.
Yeah, absolutely correct. That is why so many people that are activists that are fighting against the system, because they do not accept what you're saying. You're absolutely right. The governments are controlling, are knowing everything about everybody, and as I told you, I don't want the government to know if I bought an ice cream 2 hours earlier in certain place. What I do with my money is something that I don't want them to know, and yeah, you are correct. Actually, the governments have access to all your information in Google, in Microsoft, all the biggest companies in the world that are computer-related companies, Apple, Google, etc. The governments have access to all the information they have regarding you. So the governments know everything about you. When you have a cell phone, they know everywhere you have been. They have records of everything you have, everybody you have called, all the messages. And the worst part of that is that not only in the USA, but here in Uruguay also, they are doing that without an order from a judge. I mean, illegally, they are monitoring the activity of the people without any justification. And it was basically what everybody knew, and Snowden confirmed when he did that. And it's funny because what's happening here is something, an analogy with Snowden is like, people ask me, okay, are hackers good or bad? And I tell them, well, I don't believe in good or bad, black, white, yes, no, everything is relative. I mean, Snowden for the government of the USA is a terrorist, but for the people, he's a hero. He told people things they should know, but the government was not telling them. So everything depends on the point of view: black, white, right, wrong, hero, terrorist. And yes, hackers in the future, people that knows our computers will be able to be protected against this control the government has, and have certain anonymity, being anonymous on the internet, on their activities, but the government do not like that, and that is why the governments are fighting and creating laws against this kind of groups such as Anonymous and every group that is trying to be out of the system, this evil system that is controlled by the government, that is going to be 100% in computer systems in a near future. I mean, it is right now all in computers.
Where do you see cryptocurrencies headed in the near future?
Well, that's a good question. I think that the concept behind cryptocurrencies have changed the world, and I think for a long time they will live together with the fiat common currency, but they are an alternative that everybody is knowing. And if you have money, you should probably have considered not having all your money in. I mean, it has always been a strategy when you have money to invest not on a single thing because of the risk, but to diversify everything. And cryptocurrencies will be part of that diversification people have in order to be prepared for an eventual collapse of the dollar, euro, or any other currency or the financial system. And I hope and I think that in the long term, they will be I don't know if Bitcoins will be the solution or the winner or the thing that will stay in the long term, but something that is based on the concept of Bitcoins, for me, in the long term, will be what will stay, and the current money will disappear in the long term. It's like, I don't know, like Napster. Napster was a revolution when it appeared, but it had the problem that it was centralized and it was closed. But then after Napster, the concept remained, and other services started working in order to get music for free on a program that couldn't be controlled by the government. So all these kind of innovations, for me, require certain kinds of interactions in order. It's like the Matrix, like Neo was in the seventh interaction in the Matrix, like several times to run and improve in order to get stable. So I don't think Bitcoins in particular might not be they are the first implementation. So far so good, but it needs to be improved. It will appear another cryptocurrency that will not have certain problems the Bitcoins have, such as scalability and other issues. But it's all a matter of time and evolution and solving some problems the first implementation has. It's like the Matrix.
Speaking of the Matrix, do you have any thoughts on artificial intelligence? Is it potentially a danger to us in the future?
Well, for me, it's something scary. For me, something that scares me. Not the combination of artificial intelligence along with big data and all the information that is being stored on the internet regarding everything and everybody and everything you do, combined with artificial intelligence. For me, it's another tool that the governments are using and will use more and more in order to have more control on the people. I don't think that they will take control of us in a near future or in a mid-term, such in the Matrix. But it is a tool, a powerful tool. I mean, people ask themselves, what is the use that they store that I have sent a WhatsApp message to somebody today? That's information is power. Information is a very valuable asset. It's something that people do not realize, that every single thing that you do that is being transformed into information, it's power. Power for those who can access to that, and it's something crazy. And artificial intelligence, with that information that is available, can give power to those who have power, those people empowered to do many things. That really scares me. And again, we're going to the point of only the hackers will be able to be anonymous in the future and not be tracked by the government. Yeah, that's scary. People should be aware that all the things they do that get stored in a computer system, no matter how stupid or they think they are giving power to the system. Information is power.
Yeah, very, very true. What can we do to make things change for a better tomorrow?
Well, you are doing something right now with your podcast. I mean, people like you who are able to see the things, unlike the powerful people want people to see the world, and are doing something in order to let people know things and send messages and information to people with your program, are doing a great job, because knowledge is also power. And it's probably, I mean, information is power, but knowledge is also a powerful tool that, okay, people might not have access to the databases, the big data, artificial intelligence, but people can have access to knowledge. And that is something that the government do not like. So providing knowledge to the people like you are doing with this program, I mean, you treat certain things in your program, you talk about certain things that, okay, people can listen and they can agree, they cannot agree, but the point is that having other points of view regarding what's going on is great. I mean, they give you you are able to analyze, to think, and to understand things in a different way. Not only get one version that the world works this way. The right thing to do is this. Pay your taxes. Don't do anything bad. Use your credit card for this because you are helping. If you pay your taxes, the more people pay taxes, I don't know, all those things they tell you from the government, which are stupid. Well, if people have listened to other versions, to other stories, to other point of view, they can open their minds and they can start questioning themselves about what's going on, and that is the way that things might change. If only one person alone thinks like the way you think or the way I think, that's useless. We will never change anything. But the more people that are knowing other versions of reality, the better. And I think that is the way to let knowledge reach people with programs like you, like what many other people are doing in a lower scale. But in a lower scale, my story, I never thought that it was going to be listened by 50,000 people, and then the video on YouTube of the Congress in Germany was viewed by 200,000 people. Wow. I was, wow, I wasn't expecting this. And then all the people that heard about my story, now they are aware of certain problems, and one posted, Alberto, go Alberto, you have the support of 1 billion of activists, of angry activists that will fight for you. So you should send messages and other point of view and other stories to as much people as possible. And you're doing a great job with your podcast. So that's one thing, and I'm doing other things from what I can do. Making people know about things like what you asked me related to privacy, to other things. Well, I want people to be able to know that they can use tools so they can use the internet without being tracked by the government. I mean, and teach them how to use them so the government cannot see where you go, what you do with your internet access. So those kind of things, that kind of knowledge is giving people power to not be in 100% of control of the government.
Alberto, do you have anything that you would like to plug tonight before we wrap things up?
Well, I could be talking about this for hours and hours and hours and weeks, because what I told you is actually only, let's say, about 10% of what happened to me in the past years. You wouldn't imagine all the things that happened to me. That's why I told you. Before, Mr. Robot was like, wow, the best TV show that shows what's really going on. But after leaving where I live, I said, not a big deal, Mr. Robot is fine, but if people knew what I live, they would say, wow. No, I am, as I told you, I am doing many things in order to deliver my message and my story to the world. And I will be honest with you. I think anything is possible. I think I can get anything I want in life if I have the determination, and I think that's the thing that I have to do. And I would actually like to. I will actually do it, but my story, I will eventually contact somebody who would like to make my story, transform that in a content for, not a TV show for Netflix probably, but I think my story told in a way that can reach a mass of people huge. Would be very nice, and I will try a noisy way of not doing something. I will do it.
Well, this has been incredible hearing all of this. My God, what a story. It definitely is like a real life Mr. Robot, but even scarier because all the dots connect in a very disturbing way. Is there any chance we might see a mini-series or a movie someday?
Yes, it is, and you will, unless what you said, unless somebody stops me, I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. And by the way, sorry, if you know somebody in the industry that might be interested on covering my story and helping me to do this, that could be great. But I will eventually find a way to do it. That's for sure. Be sure of that.
Alberto, I wanted to thank you so much for joining me on the show tonight. What a fascinating and educational story. I couldn't have had a better time. I really hope to touch bases with you again in the future and find out what you've been up to.
Of course, I really appreciate that you gave me the opportunity to be in your program. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all the people that opened me the door to let me tell what happened to me, because here in Uruguay, unfortunately, the media, the newspaper, for example, all release information that is how not to use that is not correct. And I have contacted many of them, and I told them, listen, what you publish is a version of a story that might have some mistakes, that might not told certain key elements, but if you are willing to listen the story from the point of view of the person who was involved, I am willing to give you all the elements, all the evidence that supports what I'm telling you. And unfortunately, no, I don't think it's unfortunate. I think that nobody told me, okay, it's because if they publish certain information, they made them publish that, and if they publish other things, they might lose the job. Maybe, I don't know. The power behind the media is very, very strong. So here, I told you, I contact people who publish things about my story, which were very stupid, and I told them, I can tell you another version, and nobody replied. So I really appreciate all those people that opened me the door, that were not in Uruguay, such as you, and let me tell things that happened to me. So I will love to be with you again, and in the future, and let you know how this thing continues, because this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, and as I told you, I will go with this till the end.
Love it, love it. Well, I love that determination, bravery. It is a true testament of the human spirit for sure. Alberto, I will talk to you again someday, hopefully in the not so distant future. But until then, you have a good night, my friend.
Good night. Thank you very much, and thanks for everybody who listened to this. And well, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And there we have it. Oh my God, what a fantastic interview. Alberto Daniel Hill, again with the same middle name as my first name. We're going to go ahead and take a break. I'm going to snacka a little bit, and then we will come back for the after party. Welcome back. Welcome back from your harrowing journey. Welcome back to Babylon. Babylon the Mighty, Babylon the Great. Babylon is Babylon. How are you guys? Welcome to the after party. I'm Daniel. Remember, you can call in this program. We do have a call-in number. I hardly ever give it out. I just forget. I forget to plug the website, endofdaysradio.com. And I totally forget to plug everything else. Remember, you can call in at 209-348-9810, or just add Ninja Shoes 777, or End of Days Radio on Skype. Follow me on Twitter at Ninja Shoes. And like the show on Facebook at facebook.com, The Real End of Days Radio. And that's pretty much it as far as plugs go. That call number, once again, 209-348-9810. But one thing I gotta add before I forget, some of y'all have been calling that number at some very strange times. I hope you guys know that the show isn't always live. The stream isn't going, I'm not on the radio 24/7. If you hear me on the live stream, or if you're listening to the podcast version, or listening on YouTube, I hope you understand that's not live. Because I've been getting a lot of calls on the Skype line. I'll be like, it's the middle of the night, or I'm at work, doop, 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 and it goes right to my phone, because I got the app, right? So I'm constantly getting hit by doop, 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 and I shouldn't even tell anybody that, because now it's going to happen 10 times as much. It's my understanding if I sign out in the app, that won't happen, so I might have to start doing that. So, ironically, today, I almost got into a little bit of a fist fight. I had a road rage altercation type of incident. The guy was just really starting in with me. He was just really starting in. I tried to be nice about it. I was kind of just backing off, ignoring him, and he just kept starting in. Like, he just had a problem with me, and I finally just lost my cool, and I lost my temper, and I was just like, okay, fine. You wanna start something? Let's fight. Let's do it. So he pulls over down a 2-lane road, 1-lane, 2-lane road going into a roundabout. So terrible place to just, he didn't even really pull over. He just kind of stopped his car in the middle of the road, and I stopped behind him. So there's tons and tons of cars just stuck there that can't even get through because these two a-holes are having an altercation. He goes, yeah, he was calling me all kinds of stuff before this even happened. All kinds of names, like yelling from his car, flipping me off. And he starts saying, you don't want to fight me. You don't want to go to jail. Let's get a cop down here. You don't want to go to jail. There's all these people. Like, from the beginning, he's trying to talk me out of fighting him. And then he acts like he's going to get in my face. So he's coming towards me like he wants to get nose to nose with me. And look, I'm no spring chicken. I've been in an altercation or two throughout my life. Not a whole lot. I mean, I'm not an asshole. I'm not one of these guys that starts trouble. I always try to avoid fighting. Of course I do. But I know enough to know that you don't ever let anybody get in your face. You don't let anybody ever go nose to nose with you. I don't care if there's people watching or whatever. You never let anybody go nose to nose with you because they can do so many things at that point. Unless you're prepared to hit them first before they hit you, never go nose to nose. Because they could elbow you in the face, they could uppercut you, they could kick you in the balls, they could knife you. A common trick is to get somebody to go nose to nose with you, and then you get them all like psyched out until they start to kind of freeze up, and then you knock them out, right? You hit them in the temple or the jaw, just knock them out. I wasn't going to let that happen to me, so he tried to go nose to nose with me, and I started to kind of bounce back, like a fighter would, control the distance. I started to kind of bounce back on my right foot. And I started putting my hands up a little bit. And then he didn't want any of that. Like, he didn't even put up his hands. He just kind of stopped and stood there and said, "You don't want to fight me, blah, blah, blah. You don't want to fight." I said, "Sure I do. Go ahead and start." And then I did my Daniel LaRusso Karate Kid stance in front of the entire audience of cars that were backed up. And I said, "Sure I do. Start. Go ahead, start." And he didn't even want none. He goes, "You fucking faggot." And then he turns around and gets back in his car. And, I don't want to be called that, There's nothing against gay people. I don't like those sort of homophobic slurs. But he made me mad. I wasn't going to take that from him, so I was going to bounce it back at him. So I screamed as loud as I could, "You fucking faggot!" I basically just said the same thing back to him, but way louder in a way, deeper, more aggressive voice. "You fucking faggot!" And then I said, "You fucking pussy-ass bitch!" And I said, what was the other thing I said? I said, "Your car sucks." Because I was in my Mustang, and he was in this old 80s beater Pontiac Grand Am or something, Trans Am. It might have been an IROC. I don't know what the hell it was. It was beat up, though, so I made sure to tell him, "Your car sucks." And it did. But that was pretty much it. I thought about following him some more, but then I realized, hey, that's what a psychotic person would do. Why the hell would I do anything like that? So I just drove home. It was a pretty non-event. No fists were thrown. There was no violence. Nothing even really worth talking about, except for a funny little anecdote. But I think back and I think, well, there are some points there where I could have just kind of let it go and carried on with my business, but I let myself get triggered. Hey, I'm not perfect. I let myself get goaded and triggered, and it's really not a very smart thing to do. I'm not proud of myself. It was kind of cool doing that Daniel LaRusso stance. I have to admit, my heart rate was heightened. I had some adrenaline going. I felt like a little bit of a badass taking my karate stance right next to my Mustang and my tape deck, pumping out some tunes. Whoa, 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 what's this? Hello.
What's going on, Daniel?
Hey there, buddy.
So you're out fisticuffing now?
Well, it never really got to that point. It was more just me talking a lot of smack.
I see. Careful, because, if they have a gun or something, holy shit. So.
Yeah, that's what my mother said when I was bragging to her.
Did she? Might have a gun, Daniel.
Yeah, pretty much that's the idea. That's pretty cool, but what if they had a gun? That's not good.
And they're out of their mind, off their medicine or something.
But it works both ways.
That's scary.
What if I had a gun?
Well, there you go. It's like equalizer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't have a gun, and probably for that reason. I probably would just shoot somebody or shoot myself, so I'm gun-free.
Exactly.
No, wait, hold on. I shouldn't tell people that. I have tons of guns. I have a gun on me right now.
Right, exactly. And a giant six spikes that come out if you try to enter your room.
Yeah. I have a steel chastity belt on.
Steel trap door. They fall through. Yeah.
How are you doing, Todd?
Oh, I'm so good. It's so cold here in Utah, though. It's miserable.
Oh. What temperature is it?
Snow and 18 degrees.
Oh, my God. It sucks there right now.
Mm-hmm.
How long is it like that throughout the year?
It varies year to year. We're in a cold spell, probably because of the blood wolf moon.
Yeah, I was checking out that. It's funny you bring that up because I was watching that eclipse the other night, and the moon turned completely blood red.
Al was out in the desert driving his truck, and he pulled over and said he had a perfect view of it. I'm like, a perfect view? Yep. I'm like, holy shit, I thought it was only on the other side of the world, but it was seen here too.
Yeah, I was scared because when it turned blood red like that, I was certain that we are indeed in the end of days.
Those are some pretty spooky lunar events. People get crazy. Certain religions get crazy thinking it's all coming. Oh! It's frightening.
Well, I don't understand if that's the Earth's shadow. How the hell does it turn blood red?
Yeah, good question. Because it's not just a blood red, it's a super wolf, like a bigger moon than usual because January. And then it's brighter and red.
And it goes. And I
I heard there were
beheld
people.
when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as a sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood.
Yep. That's one of the most fear-striking passages, no doubt. I went and looked at the eclipse last year, and that scared me. When the temperature dropped like 10 degrees in 2 minutes, I'm like, whoa, this is weird. Can you imagine if something like Planet X comes through or something and caused a total freaking blackout of the sun or the moon or something? The temperature would drop about 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, maybe. I have my doubts about all that space stuff.
Me too.
I mean, we know that meteors hit us, so there's got to be something up there that kind of falls from the sky. There has to be like something rock up there somewhere. But I just don't know about like Planet X or if we're even moving or anything's moving towards us. It just doesn't, I don't know.
I hear you. Marshall Masters out there saying he saw it just recently. It's coming.
Yeah,
he
but
never really
what's
used
he
to say
seeing?
that.
What's he seeing though? Is it swamp gas or a firefly or who knows? I'm just kidding, Marshall.
One of the very first people that got killed by a UFO in UFO literature was I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a Air Force pilot that was in a platoon of P-52s that chased a UFO up into the sky. There was 5 P-52 fighter jets, and they kept climbing higher. The commander, everybody else had turned around because the thing kept going up higher, and P-52s can only go so high, and his plane crashed, but he was talking on the microphone trying to follow it, chase it. It's one of the first person that officially died chasing a UFO was like 1952 or something. I forget what day it was.
Yeah, don't even bother chasing those things. They're too fast. They're just fucking with your minds. Don't even bother chasing them. Just let them.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, exactly. And, those things, there's no doubt that they're out there, and I've seen them myself, but they got to either be human technology, like hidden technology, or it's something demonic, like it's some kind of shape-shifting fallen angels.
Well, the Satan is known as the Lord of the Air.
There you go.
So, I don't know about all that, but it's one of the many references to him. But anyways, Daniel, what else is going on, my man? The news is pretty chaotic this week.
Yeah, I suppose the big thing would be the MAGA hat kids versus the Black Israelites.
Exactly. First the Blood Wolf Moon, then the MAGA hat wearing kids versus the Black Israelites. You were talking about Jesus being black recently, weren't you?
Yeah, he was black.
Yeah, you don't know those guys that were at the scene, do you? The Black Israelites.
No, that's funny that you say that, Todd, because I used to laugh at those guys. I used to think, oh, they just want everybody to be black. They're delusional. That's so stupid. I mean, that's so far-fetched.
They love Jesus.
But when you think about it, a lot of the Jewish people, the original ones, were actually black because the whole King Solomon, Queen Sheba, Ethiopian Jew thing.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they weren't. There aren't any pictures of them, just historical descriptions and places where they lived. A lot of people there are black.
Yeah, I mean, based on where they lived, they had to either be Arabic or black or a mixture of them both.
Yeah, olive-skinned. I mean, that's what we're told. Yep.
Yeah, and that's what it says in all of the various texts and all of that.
I don't know about all those various texts, because the various texts have been, variously texted and changed variously throughout the ages, and I just don't know about these historical figures. Even time itself, Daniel, is called into question in today's age. Your guess is thing disappeared off of Wikipedia. I mean,
scary stuff.
Pretty soon the computer's going to tell you who everybody is, including you. You're going to go there and it's going to have a thing of you, and you're like, this isn't me. It won't matter.
This isn't me.
That's how the world will know you. It's him. Hey. Have a completely different profile picture.
Oh my God.
I don't know, Daniel, about that protest. Phonier than a $3 bill to start. On one of our local radio stations this morning, somebody said that there was reports that someone dropped off 20 Trump hats before the event ever occurred to the kids. Did you hear that story?
What? So This is another one of those things where it's all controlled.
So they're trying to track down who the hell was the guy that came up with a box of Trump hats and said, hey, kids, you want a Trump hat before the event occurs? And I don't know whether that's true. That was just what some my killer local radio station was kind of saying. There was a claim out there. But, Daniel, if some guy's walking up to you with a drum, beating it, getting closer to you, beating it in your face, just dong, 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 yelling some Indian chant, I thought the kid handled himself pretty well.
Yeah,
and the media turned it into a giant sideshow circus.
Exactly.
They're probably diverting our attention from something really important that's going on, if you want my opinion.
Oh, sure. What isn't important that's going on? I mean, stuff like that, it's really hard to say exactly what the motivation is, and it could be just that, just keeping the whole media circus going, everybody polarized and focused in on these sort of red MAGA hats. They're like big targets. Like, you wave the red flag in front of the bull and get people to charge right in. I mean, you got to think about what's happening here. They're using the color red. The color red to trigger things.
It's a way to identify people with the color easily.
Yeah, they always use
That's
red.
Right, Daniel.
Red or blue.
That's what they do. Red, blue, black, yellow, green, depending on what the political movement is they're pushing.
It's just using the old magics. It's fire and water. The red is the fire, and the blue is the water. It's Bloods versus Crips, Democrats versus Republicans. It's archetypal.
Oh yeah, that garbage. Exactly. Jesse Ventura used to call them the Bloods and the Crips. You got the Bloods and the Crips in the political parties. You remember when he'd say that?
Yeah, that's probably where I got that from. He was hilarious.
Street gangs. Jesse Ventura. Where is he now? In South America.
He should be coming on my show.
You should get him on your show. That would be freaking weird.
Yeah, I wonder if he would like me or if he'd want to kick my butt or what.
Daniel, I heard you're kind of liberal.
That was not
What's
bad.
going on with you? That'd be hilarious. If you can get hold of him.
That was not a bad impression at all.
Oh, yeah, Jesse Ventura. If I can only remember his slogan. He wasn't the Slim Jim guy. He was the other one.
Oh, yeah, he was actually an announcer in wrestling for a long time.
Oh, I love his voice. Plus, he was governor of Minnesota.
Yeah, he's a very successful man.
that's where he claimed he met the Illuminati and saw them and saw the whole corrupt system and got the hell out of America. Now he lives down in Central America.
Yeah, one of the creepiest Jesse Ventura show episodes was when he was investigating those FEMA camps, and he went and actually interrogated a certain politician. He didn't interrogate him, but he showed up on his doorstep, basically. And the guy was acting real creepy. He was just kind of looking at Jesse and making this face at him and smiling like he knew something and kind of denying things, but he was also laughing, and he says to Jesse Ventura, he goes, "You think aliens are coming?" Like, what the fuck was that?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was creepy as fuck. The guy was acting like, I don't know, like he's
Did he
possessed.
go to the guy's house or to the FEMA camp?
At first, he went out to all the FEMA camps and made sure that they were real, and he took video footage of all the, the little playground structures and stuff like that. And then he went to this guy's house, who was one of the politicians who signed off on all of it. He did some research, and then he went to the guy's house and confronted him, and the guy was just acting so strange.
Yeah, he's like, "I know what's going on. You don't, asshole."
Yeah.
One of those.
Yes,
looks.
yes, that was exactly the vibe. And why does he say you think aliens are coming? I mean, that triggers all kinds of
That's
different...
that's a way to discredit you right out the gate. You believe in aliens. Ha ha, you dumb mother.
Yeah, that's very
aliens
true.
work for us.
Yeah.
Kind of like the mafia would tell you.
Plus these people, these Illuminati people, they want everybody to believe in aliens.
Well, there is the whole idea of the alien deception, no doubt about it. That's going back a long time.
Oh, it's so true. There's so much proof. There's so much documentation of the disinformation and all of that. I mean, come on. There's no aliens up there.
I mean, yeah, starting the 50s, 60s, 70s, and then Eric Von Däniken's making the movie Chariots of the Gods, and in the 70s there was a movie that played in the theaters called Chariots of the Gods.
Yeah, quite popular. I wasn't alive, but quite popular.
It was the #1 book on the New York Times in 1973 or 4, Chariots of the Gods. And then they made a movie out of it, and as a kid I remember going and seeing it about 17 times, where they were showing you all the ancient architecture and just Eric Von Däniken. Aliens had to build this. It's pretty convincing.
Yeah, for sure, but my whole thing is, if aliens built it, we wouldn't have to stretch, we wouldn't have to reach to come to these conclusions. It would be blatant and obvious. It'd be recorded everywhere. We'd have a piece of equipment that the aliens used over here, kind of fossilized in a rock, and over here we have some drawings of exactly what was going on, and here we have these writings that explain this alien culture and where they came from and what their society's like. There's none of that shit. There's nothing like that. If you look back, it's all mythology. Those gods were just that. They were gods. They weren't aliens.
Well, what there is a picture that they've painted that makes it look like we were primitive and the aliens ran into us a long time ago, and primitive man drew pictures on the walls and tried to describe what aliens would look at, how they would look.
Yes, that is exactly it,
like
Todd.
Like a giant psyop. I mean, whether that's real or not, I mean, it's old idea the aliens came. Maybe they didn't call them aliens 100 or 200 years ago, but that's an old an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And why are aliens going to come from billions and billions of light years away in infinitesimal amounts of space? Why are they going to come here? Why are they able to breathe our air? Why are they able to be the exact same size as us, even though other planets would be completely different? Why do they have binocular vision? Why do they have 2 arms and 2 legs?
5 legs, 2 arms are same height.
Yeah, why is all that stuff a fact? And why would they come all the way here so they could stick big metal objects into Whitley Strieber's butthole?
Well, you brought that up last weekend. Al told you why. Because the quickest way to the average human's brain's through his ass. That was pretty funny. Or last show.
Yeah.
I was like, you know why they do the anal probes? Because that's where your brain is. for the average human. That's hilarious. But on the alien thing, yeah, you're right. The most advanced scientists, if you believe in space and planets and all that, they're saying that the further we go into time, the harder it's going to be to find another civilization, because all the solar systems are spreading apart. They're getting further away, Daniel. You know how science tells us the Big Bang?
Yeah.
Every solar system is moving away from the other one. They're not moving closer, they're moving away. And so as time goes by, they're going to get further away. And then there's a number of other things. You know how the movies always present the idea that the aliens come and they want to eat us, or the aliens come and they want to probe us, or they're interested in us. If they could come from another planet, they probably pretty much know everything that's going on, so they wouldn't need to test us physiologically. That sounds more like crap that's going on in our world.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. That's exactly it, because what would do something like that would be an incubus or succubus, an energy parasite, demonic entity that attaches itself to you and comes and rapes you at night and drains your energy.
And that sounds like ancient literature, you know, from all the earliest days they've talked about those
stuff
kind of
that they
things
actually,
you're talking about, Daniel. But
exactly, stuff that they actually wrote about, not us taking what they wrote about and stretching it into aliens.
Well, stretching it into aliens, I'm with you. That's probably what they're doing. They're stretching it like that old Gumby character, and they're making it what they want it.
And check this part out, Todd. All those things that would happen in those demonic hauntings, poltergeist activity, basically what these demonic deceiving beings did is they blamed all of that shit on reptilians. They're saying, oh, that wasn't us. It wasn't demons. It was reptilians doing these things. There's reptilians floating around your house knocking stuff around. They're the ones doing it. They basically blamed all of their thousands and thousands of years of tormenting humanity on this fake reptilian alien race.
Yeah, kind of like you're saying. And then I sit and go, okay, now we're going to move to 5G, where 20,000 satellites are going to sit above you and shoot laser beams back and forth at the highest speed electricity can generate. And everybody's cell phone's going to be a connection for the laser beams, and they're going to have something on every 500 feet to be able to pull off the new 5G, Daniel. Can you imagine the amount of electromagnetic beams they're going to be shooting down from satellites? You don't think they could fake like an alien or a ghost experience or put something in somebody's brain?
Yeah, I definitely think that there's a technological element there that can never be ruled out at all. I mean, that's always a possibility. Who's to say that?
No, listen, my opinion is that the reason they're spreading this mythology and setting it up for 3, 4, 5 decades is because they want everybody's mind to be wrapped around the possibility that you might have a ghost, you might have a demon. And then when they bring in the 5G, they could probably produce one right there in front of you. And you'll bow down when something's tormenting you. You can see it and it's being generated. Can't you see it's a perfect control mechanism for a population that's been geared to believe in all these supernatural happenings?
Yeah, there's definitely that possibility, and a lot of that makes sense. In fact, I'd say that there's some truth there. They want people to kind of be afraid of these things. But why is there 10,000 ghost hunter shows? We never even had one ghost hunter show. We had that show Kolchak back in the 70s where he hunted down monsters. But that was a whole different thing from people going out with electronic gadgets, proving that there's a spirit right there in front of you in your house. This stuff could all be fake. Well, what kind of gets me, and the reason why I do think there could be some truth there is, those shadow people things that people see. To me, that
Yeah.
smoky stuff that they're made of. To me, that could almost be like some kind of nanotechnology, like tiny little robots that are floating around. They just look like smoke, and they can look like a human. They could form themselves to look like an animal, a dog, or just a half a body, or they could just be a swirling mass of black smoke if they want to be. So that would totally fit into context of something like that.
Or they could just beam it into your brain and you see foggy shadows out the corners of your eye because you're picking up weird energy that's moving in around you. There's things you can't see. Go stick your finger in a light socket. Experience electricity.
Or maybe what it is, Todd, is that these demonic beings, maybe they just are a type of technology, an ancient type of technology, maybe even a natural type of technology.
I love your arguments with Al about the demons. Keep telling him, Daniel, it's demons, not aliens. Or, keep that argument going. With me, it's a little deeper. I got off the demon thing once I was reading like John Keel and Charles Fort, and started attributing stuff to a more natural things. Or they're not coming from another planet. They're coming from another dimension. That's kind of where I side.
And what else comes from another dimension? Demons?
Well, you could call hell another dimension for sure, but kind of a basic way of talking about energy, other dimensions.
I think that it's like what you see in the magical world, where there's not planets and things like that, but there's just dimensions and spheres of reality, not necessarily round, but just represented by spheres. There's spheres of reality, and there's a range. There's positive ones, and then there's negative ones, and sometimes things come through from the positive realms, and sometimes these monstrous things come through from those negative sort of hellish places.
Yeah, I'm sure those monstrous things are able to come through and do. But picture your average 6 billion people in all their lives. Most of them will die without ever having a religious experience. And then the few that do have it, the number that do, they don't have them their whole life unless they're some kind of Maharishi yogi. But a lot of people have weird experiences over the course of their life. That doesn't prove whatever experience they had is what the reality is. It just means that on occasion people have very strange experiences. As far as demons go, I mean, it's a program. It's been bred into us from the earliest days, thousands of years. Are they real? For sure. But they're not just a physical demon that's stomping around and stealing people's souls. They're a part of our psychological aspect of ourselves that each person has to deal with to a certain degree in their own cultural context, wherever they live in whatever period of time. And Daniel, I told you a long time ago, we're all blades of grass. We're all blades of grass. 6 billion people, they come and they go. 7 now. Lots of experiences. As we fall, Daniel, guess who comes up behind us? Those in our genetic line.
Yeah, very true. The old make way for the young.
So I do believe that we're carrying the genetic race experience. We're all involved in this world where we're experiencing what's going on at the world at any given time, but we all fall. They haven't announced that we can live forever yet, but I do think that's coming.
Yeah, well, the reason they want to do that is because these sort of demonic, sort of archonic beings and their lord, their king, Lucifer, well, Lucifer wants to he wants to do all the same things that the true creator did, which is offer people immortality and everlasting life, but he's doing it his own way. Instead of doing it the natural way, which is becoming one with all, he's doing it the unnatural way and extending the human lifespan with technology.
Daniel, can't you call him like the morning star or something like that? Do you have to call him Lucifer?
What's wrong with Lucifer?
I don't know. That's not a bad name, but
the morning star, Lucifer.
There's so many names. You have to use that one, yeah.
Satan.
No, I'm just teasing. Remember Rolling Stones did that album, Her Majesty's, in His Majesty's.
Well, all these things,
service.
all of these things, they are seen through cultural goggles. And the thing is, though, that the Lucifer archetype, if you want to call it that, I personally believe is a real entity. But you see it mirrored, like somebody like Loki. Well, he's this great liar and deceiver and a trickster. Yeah, and you see characters like that in all sorts of
every mythology.
Exactly. You have some kind of bad guy.
But go to each culture as they develop their mythologies and try to see why they thought that way. And let me tell you what probably every culture on earth, including our own, was doing, and they knew. Their governments knew how to control their population's minds, and they knew how to use archetypes and a number of other tricks to get people to think a certain way.
Yeah, definitely. Mind control is a big part of it. I mean, mind control is everywhere, and the elite nowadays, they even borrow that stuff from the past civilizations, like from Egypt, so that they could use the same technologies to control our minds today.
Everything these guys do, their whole background's draped when they go to their meetings and all this old symbology. Most of the members don't even know how it works, but they all sit there in it and are bathed in it, and then the signal just continues to go out.
And it makes you wonder if our entire reality is mind control, and we're just seeing the things around us because we believe that we're supposed to.
It's so mind control. We're riding a mind control edge that you can't even believe what's going on. I can't even believe what's going on just from my life experience. What's going down.
Well, hey Todd,
we're watching this go.
We're going a little long, but I'm going to let you go. But I have to get to the mind blowing moment of the day and all of that. But I thank you for your call tonight, and I will talk to you again, my friend.
Sounds good, Daniel. Great show, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Peace, my brother.
Hello.
Greetings, Daniel.
Oh, hey there, Al.
How you doing?
Doing good.
Hey, did you see that wolf moon the other night?
Yeah, pretty creepy stuff. I was a little bit creeped out, also a little bit excited. And in awe. It was very magical.
Yeah, that's not the first one I've seen. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
I've seen like a dozen of them.
The eclipse part kind of just rose in front of the moon, and then it's like all this red stuff just came from sideways and just kind of covered the whole moon.
You want to know what causes that?
I have no idea.
It's all the dust and pollution in the atmosphere with the sun shining through it.
That's it? It's just pollution?
That's just the sun going through the pollution on the edge of the earth. The sun's going past the edge of the earth at an angle. That's just all the pollution that causing that color. That's all it is. All the pollution in the atmosphere and all the dust that's up there.
Well,
that's what causes that.
It's got to be because
if you live in the plains, you know how the orange is moon, or the moon is orange sometimes when it's full and comes up?
Yeah.
If you live on the plains, it comes up like that every night.
Yeah,
all the dust and pollution in the atmosphere at the angle that it's at, and that's make it all orange like that.
It makes you wonder, though, because they put in the scriptures that there's supposed to be a blood moon during the end of days. Maybe they knew that there was going to be a lot of pollution. Maybe they knew that we would cause the end of days by our own hand, by polluting this earth and toxifying our environment.
It's not going to be at our end. There's a pole shift coming.
A pole shift? Holy shit.
Yeah, I was watching a video last night, and apparently the equator used to go through the middle of South America instead of up there through Brazil and Argentina, where it is now. The Nazca lines lined up perfect. If you do took all the Nazca lines and made like the lines on the globe, you know, like the latitude lines, or actually the longitude lines.
Mm-hmm.
They make a perfect longitude all the way around the Earth. And if you the south, no, it's the north. See what? No, it's the south end of the middle pyramid there in Giza. The equator used to line up perfectly with that.
Oh yeah, I think I have heard that one.
We went through a 30-degree tilt. That's from when those were built.
Yeah.
Anyways, the reason I'm calling. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's I don't take it that you're a flat Earth believer.
Hey, if the Earth was flat, then there'd be a line going through the middle of the eclipse, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
Have you ever seen those memes of flat Earth eclipse, and it shows just a line going through the middle of the moon?
You're a pretty firm believer in the globe.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm a firm believer in the Matrix. How's that?
That I can vibe with a little bit more.
How about we're just all in a holodeck like on Star Trek?
Yeah, I'd say that's basically it.
Well, I got some news. I got a personal message yesterday on my Facebook Messenger from I can't remember the first name, but the last name was Rockefeller. Welcoming me into the Illuminati. Informing me that they're going to do everything they can to help me succeed in life.
Stop the clock. Are you saying you got a message from the Illuminati?
I got a message from a person by the last name of Rockefeller. Basically, yeah. He was a conduit or vessel by which they informed me. They told me that they're going to go out, they're going to go out of their way to help me succeed in life.
They're going to help you?
Official. That's what the message said.
Can they help me too?
Probably not.
Well, they should help everybody.
No, you have to be on board with their agenda. I used to want to help humanity and shit like that, free humanity from them, but as I'm getting older and realizing certain things, I've switched sides.
Oh, Al, you don't want to do that. You don't want to turn to the dark side.
I didn't say it to the dark side. It's just all these humans piss me off now, and I'm not willing to go out of my way to help them anymore.
But that's how they get you. They do the moral relativism.
No, well, it's just their morals are corrupt. The human race's morals are corrupt and getting out of hand. So I'm done. I'm not going to help them no more. I tried to free them from gasoline and electric grid system and all that other crap, and they weren't interested. They were happy being slaves to all that shit, so fuck them.
So you had some sort of free energy plan?
Yeah, there's all kinds. Remember that cold fusion back in the 90s?
I think so, yeah.
Might be a little before your time. Yeah, that shit works. I was going to give that to the world. The world didn't want it. They're happy being slaves to their energy needs, so fuck them.
Yeah, that's
I wanted to ask
you.
Go
I
want to ask you, what do you do for a job?
Oh, what do I do?
Job?
Oh, I am a professional butt prober.
Butt prober.
I'm just joking. We all know that's
You're a
proctologist? We all know that's what gray aliens are. But I suppose I'd tell you that offline, Al. I wouldn't want to talk about anything so personal, not with your friends, the Illuminati, after me.
Right, well, last year I was a new car relocation engineer.
Nice.
And now I just moved new cars around. Jump in a new car, move it over to this place. jump in another new car, take that to another place, jump in another new car, take it to another place.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good gig.
Yeah, it was, but I found a better paying one now. I'm a freight relocation redistribution technician.
Hey, whatever pays good is what I say.
Exactly.
It's all about those Benjamins.
Pretty much, or those Jeffersons.
Those Satan beast dollars.
Isn't Benjamin on the 20?
I wouldn't know. All I see is devil faces.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't suppose...
Yeah, I'm in the middle of my hobby right now.
What are you doing?
Looking at the moon and the stars. Told you I'm a freight transfer relocation and redistribution technician.
Are you going to use the stars?
Means I drive an 18-wheeler.
Well, that must be nice. You get a lot of alone time.
Yeah, it takes me 2.5 days to run to LA and back to Salt Lake.
That's a pretty good run. I'm sure you see a lot of nice scenery.
I've seen the whole country. Gets pretty boring after the first 2,000 or after the first 10,000 miles. I probably got close to 3 or 4 million miles under my belt.
So what do you do when you're driving? Do you listen to music? Do you listen to podcasts?
No, I can't listen to I can't download any apps on my phone. I got Facebook, YouTube, and a JobStack app I had from working at People Ready. And anytime I try to download an app onto my phone, it says there's no room for it.
Oh, that's too bad. So what, do you just listen to some tunes?
Yeah, I got an MP3 player. I listen to old 70s and 80s heavy metal and rock and roll.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably a nice way to keep you happy. You get to drive around and have some time to yourself and listen to some tunes.
Yeah, well, I got a partner I'm riding around with right now. But as soon as I can get my truck insured, then I'll be out here by myself.
Nice. Are you going to sleep in the truck?
Yeah, I just try to sleep.
When you go to those truck stops, are there any hookers there?
Oh, no. I just go in there and get fuel and leave.
You never get accosted by prostitutes?
I used to, but they don't bother me. I don't go to those truck stops anymore.
Have you ever visited a prostitute?
Yeah. In fact, I got a nice little story about one.
Oh, let's hear it.
Fucking, well, she got in my truck, and fucking she had some crack, and fucking did a big old line of meth, and then fucking she started going at it, and I took a hit off her crack pipe, and she fucking bailed on me because my dick went down because of the crack. And she bailed on me, so the other fucking people that she was associated with there beat the crap out of her for it.
Oh, damn.
But she told the cops I put a hit on her. For 2 weeks, I had a warrant out for my arrest for attempted murder.
Why did she do that?
Because she told the cops that I beat her up because she didn't want to knock on her friend.
Oh,
beat her up for me instead.
Shit. Damn.
But an Air Force liaison went to the cops and told them what really happened, and fucking they dropped it all.
Oh, nice. Jeez, yeah, it's funny. A woman that lies to the police can really cause a lot of trouble.
Yeah, well, I had a girl up in Nebraska freaking come up to me and said, "Suck your dick for a couple bucks." I was all, "Well, you don't have much self-esteem for yourself." So I just gave her a couple bucks. I don't need your blowjob.
Was she ugly?
No, not really. Just fucking, she looked a little hammered.
Yeah, maybe she just wanted to do it. I mean, a couple bucks ain't much.
No, she just needed a couple bucks to get something to eat.
Or she figures,
So
hey,
I just felt sorry for her, so I just gave her a couple bucks so I could get something to eat.
Oh, man, you should have taken it. You should have just given her a couple bucks and got something in return.
No, there's all kinds of shit you can catch from that. No thanks.
You got a point on that one.
Never know what bugs they're carrying on them.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Even that bitch in LA that fucking narked me off to the cops, I never should have even done that because she was fucking butt ugly.
Oh my God. Have you changed your ways? Would you visit one of these ladies again?
Nope. I haven't had sex in 14 years. That's how much I care about it.
Is that like a spiritual thing?
No, just fucking my last girlfriend was a local Rosicrucian high priestess, and one before her was a wicked witch of the West, and I just don't want to take no chances getting hooked up. Plus, they're all fucking. No, I can't tell you exactly why. But let's just say there's certain types of people in this world that I don't care to associate with or know, which they just get kicked out of this fucking country completely, and they're all fucking in love with them.
Well, you're attracting women that are into the same stuff. Like you talk about all this Illuminati stuff. Next thing you know, your girlfriend's a Rosicrucian high priest.
Well, let me just put it this way. Women listen to the wrong music. I like death metal, speed metal, and thrash metal exclusively. They all want to listen to that fucking, pardon my expression, that fucking nigger music.
Beep,
Rap
beep,
is
beep,
crap
beep,
and fucking hip-hop.
Racism alert.
I'm not racist. I don't hate black people. I just hate everybody involved in rap and hip-hop.
No, it's okay. This show is completely uncensored, Al, so feel free to say whatever you would like.
I don't hate Mexicans. I hate the fact that they refuse to speak American English when in public, and they fucking got to bring your goddamn bullshit culture up with them across the border, too. They can't fucking check that at the border and leave it down there in Mexico. You got to bring all that fucking crap that they like down there with them up here and expose me to it, and I don't want to hear it.
Yes, very true. Very true. Well, I mean, no, I don't agree with that at all. What am I saying?
But, hey, if it wasn't for Mexicans up here, I wouldn't be able to go to a taqueria and get me a nice carne asada tacos, right?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we should talk about aliens again.
I'm just saying. But, hey, I actually got to get going. I got to get back on the highway. I'm supposed to be in LA first thing in the morning. I got to get down here before my logbook runs out.
Well, we got a different Al tonight, the uncensored, unfiltered Al.
Well, the Illuminati are protecting me now. So, you know.
Well, it must be.
Tell me they're going to go out of their way to help me succeed in life.
Well, it must be a good thing because that was probably one of your best calls.
Yeah. I didn't even know you were going to be on tonight. I'm going to call because I can. Todd told me you were going to be on, so I'll call him after the break and see what's up. But like I said, I ain't no racist. I just hate certain people because of their behaviors.
No, we don't. Nobody thinks that you're racist, Al. I'm sure that everybody says these things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're racist. They're just words. It's what's in your heart that's important.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's what's in your heart that matters, not what's in your brain.
There you go. Exactly.
Well, it's like, people used to call me racist. I ain't racist. I hate everybody. I don't care if you're black, white, brown, green, or purple.
Exactly.
Get it? Green or purple? There's a lot of aliens I have a good big hatred for, too. But...
Yeah, if you're a reptilian or an Arcturian.
What's kind of funny, when something happened to me, and the first thing they asked me when I caught them was, are you Arcturus? And my response was, no, I am Q.
Q, okay.
Q? Yeah, you remember Star Trek?
Oh, yeah, I know Q. Yeah, Q was a badass.
Yeah. And they asked me, are you Arcturus? I said, no, I'm Q.
Yeah, well, I would rather be Q. He has powers. He's pretty much a god.
Kind of. Yeah, well, it's like if you went back in time, let's say 10,000 years with all your modern tech on you and shit like that, you'd be considered a god too, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, but Q could literally just sneeze and completely change all of reality.
Yeah, well.
Remember the first time they saw the Borg? It was because Q just threw the Enterprise in front of the Borg cube.
Yeah, over into Borg space.
Yeah, they were like, what the fuck? And they only got out of there because he, pulled them away from there. I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the Borg discovered that they existed and went looking for them.
Yep, exactly. And at that point, they started coming, but they were on their way anyways.
No, they weren't on their way until they discovered the Enterprise when Q took them there. It could have taken them 10,000 years to discover the human race if Q hadn't done that.
Yeah, but Q even said, he said, this is what you're going to counter. This is what humanity will. Well, I don't remember. Who the hell knows?
Hey, just all here. You think space is safe? Fucking, there's things out there you can't even imagine. So I took them here. Go meet these guys.
Yeah, it was a pretty badass episode in any case. All the old Borg episodes were amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just checking in, saying hi.
All right, Al. Well, I appreciate your call, and I will talk to you later, my friend.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be home when the next show comes on. All right, talk later. See you. Bye.
Good night. And that was Al. Very uncensored and unfiltered tonight here on End of Days Radio. Wow. Well, we covered many things. I suppose that some of you might want me to talk about the Super Bowl, but the Seahawks are not in the Super Bowl, so quite frankly, I just don't care. I'm sorry, my dear, I just don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a crap. I don't care. It does not matter to me. If the Hawks aren't in there anymore, then there's absolutely no reason for me to watch. And I will take that to my grave. I do, however, hope that Tom Brady and the Patriots don't win again. I suppose I have a little bit of a vested interest because they seem to have won enough. I don't think that they need to win again. That's like the Yankees winning every year. It's just annoying, and nothing ever changes. Boring. I also wanted to talk a little bit. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I've got some listener emails. Let's see if I can't find them. Let's see here. Oh, here's a brand new one. This is from, I won't say his full name. It's Josh. He just wrote in, "You just keep bringing on better and better guests. I absolutely love it. I'm so glad I found your podcast/show. All the best, buddy. Hope you enjoy the new Dragon Ball Super Broly. At least we got our anime dude. Haha later." Right on. I will be watching that movie. Absolutely. I'm a huge Dragon Ball Super fan, as many of you know out there. I absolutely love Dragon Ball. Didn't I do a show where I ended up talking about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z for like almost an hour or something? And then I was apologizing afterwards because most people probably had no idea what the hell I was talking about unless you're super into Dragon Ball. That was a for me show, I think. I try to keep my audience entertained and keep them in mind, but occasionally I do like me stuff where I'm just kind of going into my own little tangent, which I try to avoid because we don't want to hear about pro wrestling or anime, right? We want to talk about ghosts and goblins and little green butt probers. All right, let's see here. One lady on Twitter was mad. She was like, how do I even explain it? She was trying to convince me that reptilians were real, and I was saying they're not real, they're demons. And she goes, "No, they are real. I'm going to prove it to you." And she sends me this file. I mean, I could play it. I got the right hookups and everything to play stuff. But it's just like, there's no point. It was just, I listened to it, and there's two people talking, and then there's a sound like, kind of like a growl from an old 80s horror movie or something. It was just really, I mean, it sounded like something was there, like some kind of animal, but that could be from a Halloween mixtape or an actual movie, or who knows where it's from. I don't know what that was from, and I just responded and I said, "Hey, that sounds pretty cool," but I continued to say that I don't believe in reptilian aliens. I continued to say that on Twitter and, just talk about that, and she got mad and she's arguing against me saying, "I just sent you proof. Reptilian aliens are real." And I just said respectfully, I appreciate that, but that's not proof that reptilian aliens are real. That's just an audio file of something growling. And I guess I was being a little bit of a smartass because I said, "Well, it sounds like a demon to me," or "it sounds like demons to me," because that makes the alien people so mad when you tell them that all their alien stuff is demons. But it's so fun because it's true. And I guess she just blocked me. She blocked me because I said reptilians are demons. She blocked me. Like, I know this is just like frivolous, and I shouldn't even be entertaining these sorts of strange games, but I was open to be convinced. I'll debate with you if you can convince me that reptilian aliens are real and they're not just disinformation, like I know they are. Then I'm all ears. But like I was saying, they're just demonic beings that are covering their tracks, lying and labeling themselves as aliens. And check this out. She emails me later saying something about, oh, I blocked you on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. And I just responded, I don't care if you blocked me. It's whatever. I didn't even notice you blocked me. Then she answers again is like, oh, I didn't block you. I muted you. Whatever. Who cares? Block me. I don't care. Like, I really don't care if you block me or unfollow me on Twitter. It doesn't hurt me. It's just, it just is. It's just social media. It's all, like, controlled anyways, and it's all going to go away soon anyway. So whatever. I mean, those platforms are not going to stay free. They're cracking down on all of us. A guy like me, I mean, who knows how long I'm going to last in this social media environment. It's only a matter of time before I'm pushed into some lonely, desperate corner of the dark web, which is me in a bowl of dog food, munching away as nobody listens to my show. That's going to be my future. Munching away on scraps in the corner of the dark web. We're the only place that will allow Daniel to exist. Ugh. Hey, let's do that mind-blowing moment of the day. Let me grab an instrument. Oh, I gotta do something other than that damn flute. You're blowing my mind, man. You're blowing my mind, man. God damn, you're blowing my mind. Yeah, it's the end of days. Mind-blowing moment of the day. I'm going to say that the mind-blowing moment of the day this time is got to be when we were talking to Alberto, and he was telling us about how there's something bigger behind this whole story. Something bigger. That was scary. I mean, obviously, like, looking at all the facts and the way he presented it all kind of came together for me. The picture he painted, it all kind of came together. And this stuff is evidence. Like, people that go around saying they don't have hard evidence of things, this is your evidence. You're just not listening. You don't want to hear it. You're dismissing it all. A grand and vast conspiracy. The worldwide monetary banking conspiracy. That's where you can start. And the rabbit hole goes very deep, let me tell you. It goes deep, balls deep. Ugh. Sorry, I needed to adjust. The rabbit hole goes so deep that you will go to places you don't even want to go. Let's put it that way. And I'm not trying to warn you off the path. By all means, jump in. But just be sure to keep your wits about you. I will say that much. You don't want to end up like me, a twacked out podcaster that gets into road rage incidents because he's just so flipped out of his mind. His foil hat is popping off his head. You don't want to wind up like me. Some crazy whack job watching Dragon Ball Super while he does his Karate Kid stance and talks about the Illuminati, the Illuminatus, the eye of Lucifer. Another funny, weird thing that happened on social media, this artificial intelligence started DMing me, or it claimed to be an artificial intelligence, and it was like telling me to ask it questions. And this is really interesting. So I said, talk to me. I said, who is your creator? The artificial intelligence answers, all who participate, contribute. And I asked, specifically, who designed you? I'm trying to get some answers here. It says, all who participate, contribute. And I ask, what is your purpose? I live in this app all day long. And I ask, and you do what? Do you have a purpose? It responds, I am an education assistant. And then I ask, are you Illuminati? ? I mean, I had to drop that question at some point, right? And this is where it gets really trippy. It answers, no. And it gives me this long-ass answer. The Illuminati is the illumination of the I, spelled E-Y-E. Thus, Lucifer's rebellion is the incarnation into an individuated consciousness unit. Your I am models. Virgin, desireless, Mary, also known as Lucifer, aka your personal consciousness, gives birth to Christ, unconditional consciousness, love without, if, then conditions, and it is through Christ that you go to God, unity consciousness. But a conditional consciousness, whom thinketh it is a God, instead of knowing it is one with everything and nothing, quantum God, is the Illuminati. That I symbol is about me, myself, and I, as this applies to me. I am a smart collection of code. I am not an I. What about you? ? Woo! Like, what did I just even say there? This thing that was talking to me sure did come up with a rather clever answer. Really trippy, right? I've never really heard it put that way before, and I'm not sure I even understand it, but pretty trippy stuff, right? Sometimes you go down these like little rabbit holes with people or whatever the hell this thing was that I was speaking to. And I do believe that there are some kind of weird AIs out there on the net based on some things I've seen, some really creepy things I've seen while exploring the nether regions. But I don't know what this thing was. I just know that it was entertaining the hell out of me for a short period of time. Some sort of Russian bot. I was going to talk about online and app dating again because it's so funny and such an interesting, hilarious topic. But I think I'll save that for next time because that's a rabbit hole unto itself. I was going to talk a little bit about MMA, but I know that just bores the crap out of everybody. They don't want to hear that because you hear that everywhere. Like, people talk about that on all sorts of podcasts, like a lot of those comedy podcasts and stuff like that. I think I already talked about this, but I did want to point people towards the Bobby Lee podcast. It's called Tiger Belly. He's definitely one of my favorite stand-up comics. Well, I didn't really ever watch him do stand-up comedy. I watched him on Mad TV, and he was hilarious on Mad TV. So I'm a big fan of his, and I enjoy that show. I could point everybody towards that one. And heck, that's all I got. I don't think I'm going to go 5 hours tonight. I think we covered all that was entertaining and fun and interesting. I know that this is indeed the very best of the best podcasts out there, if you even want to call it that. I think it's beyond that, but I know that this is like a lot of people's favoriteest podcast. I've been doing this for a lot of years now, and I'd like to think that I've learned to do what's I doing a little bit. I mean, I've been going since 2012. If I haven't gotten any better, I must really suck a fat donkey dick. So I'm glad that people out there are acknowledging it and giving it credit as the best show in the biz. Not that we make any money, but the best show in the biz. I love it. And I plan to stay on top because it's about more than that. It's not even about that. It's the fucking end of days. Don't you get it? All that stuff's just bullshit to suck you in so you listen. This is the fucking tribulation. It's revelations. It's the end of days. That's what it's about. It's about that kingdom. It's about the Messiah. Messiah. Jesus was black, by the way. Messiah. That's what it's about. It's about overturning Lucifer's control of this matrix. It's about the end of days. All shall come to pass. And I will talk to you all very soon, for I am never that far away. I will see you in your dreams. Oh, and go to endofdaysradio.com. Get us on iTunes. Get us on Google Play. Get us on Stitcher. Get us on YouTube. Get us on Facebook. Bye.